They're loud, they're massive, they're American-built beasts you've never seen before, and they're absolutely insane. From floating marsh monsters to self-driving electric robots, these machines pushed farming to the absolute limit. Here are the 14 most bizarre American tractors you didn't even know existed. And trust me, number 4 is so insane it should be in a museum. All right, let's kick things off with a machine that doesn't just survive the swamp, it owns it. 1. Marshmaster MM2LX. The Marshmaster MM2LX is not your average tractor, it's like a tank that floats. Built by Coast Machinery in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, this machine is made for extreme wetland conditions like swamps, ponds, and flooded fields. What makes it really cool is that it runs on high-flotation aluminum pontoon tracks. That means instead of getting stuck in the mud like normal tractors, this thing literally glides over it. It can float and move through super soft, muddy areas where regular farm equipment would just sink. The MM2LX is designed for serious jobs. It's used for cutting down thick marsh brush, clearing dikes, making fire breaks, and even cleaning up invasive plants. It has a special tool system on it, which means you can attach different equipment depending on what work you're doing. People either buy it brand new or rent it for wetland jobs, depending on how often they need it. Even though it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, it's very much real and still being made today. The frame is tough, the design is smart, and it's built to go where almost no other machine can. Now, if you thought that was crazy, wait till you see the next tractor. It's a real-life monster straight out of the 70s, rebuilt for today. Big Bud 640. The Big Bud 640 is a monster of a tractor. It was first created to bring back the legendary size and power of the original Big Bud from the 1970s, which was once the world's largest farm tractor. This updated version was announced in 2023 by Big Equipment Co. in Havre, Montana. And let me tell you, it's huge. Weighing 32 tons and powered by an 18-liter Cat engine, this beast delivers between 640 to 750 horsepower. That's more power than most race cars. It's built with a one-piece steel frame that's 1.5 inches thick and has giant Cat 988 axles, which makes it super strong and tough. The tractor is designed for really big farms where you need to cover huge areas fast. It's perfect for deep ripping and cultivating land because it can handle a ton of stress without slowing down. Even though it looks like a machine from decades ago, it's built with modern materials and is just now entering production again. Farmers who deal with massive acreages and need crazy horsepower are already lining up to get one. That thing is huge, but now let's go from size to silence. This next one doesn't make a sound, and it's fully electric. 3. Solectrac E25. The Solectrac E25 is a small but impressive electric tractor built by Solectrac Inc., a company based in Santa Rosa, California. This tractor is a game changer for people who want to work the land but also care about the environment. It's a fully electric utility tractor with 25 horsepower, and it's built to replace the small diesel tractors we're used to seeing on hobby farms and orchards. What makes it stand out is that it runs on a 22-kilo battery, not gas or diesel, which means zero emissions. No smoke, no fumes, and no loud engine noise. The battery gives it about 3 to 6 hours of runtime depending on how hard you're working it. It's powered by a direct-drive electric motor, which is great because it gives you full torque, aka full power, the moment you start it. This makes the E25 super responsive and easy to use. It also connects to standard Category 1 farm implements, so you can still do all your regular tractor jobs like mowing, tilling, or moving dirt. The cool part is how quiet and clean it is. You can actually hear birds while driving this thing. It's perfect for places where you don't want engine noise, like community gardens, vineyards, or areas close to homes. As of 2025, the company that made the E25 was sold off, but the tractors are still out there on the used market and pretty popular among people who want something eco-friendly. All right, quiet mode off, because this next tractor doesn't just run electric, it runs itself. 4. Monarch MKV. The Monarch MKV is like the Tesla of tractors. Built by Monarch Tractor in Napa, California, this machine takes farming to the next level. It's a fully electric tractor that can actually drive itself. Yes, seriously, this thing can run without a driver, thanks to an advanced AI system called Wingspan AI. It has a 40 horsepower continuous motor and can go up to 70 HP at its peak, with a battery that can last more than 14 hours on one charge. That's a full day's work without needing to refuel. Instead of a loud engine, the MKV uses an electric motor that gives you instant torque and super smooth operation. That means no engine noise, no fuel fumes, and way less maintenance. But what makes this tractor even cooler is how smart it is. It's packed with tech that lets it collect data from the field, help plan farming tasks, and even follow paths on its own. Farmers can control it from a tablet or phone, and they can choose to drive it manually or let it work on its own while they focus on something else. It's made for farms that want to be high-tech and sustainable. A lot of vineyards and row crop farms are using the MKV because it can drive through tight spaces without needing a person behind the wheel. It saves time, fuel, and labor costs, while also helping farms become more eco-friendly. The Monarch MKV is sold new and built in the USA, and it's already making waves in modern agriculture. Yes, a self-driving tractor is wild, but get ready. The next one has tracks instead of wheels and can literally glide over farmland like a tank. 5. John Deere 9RX Series. The John Deere 9RX Series is one of the biggest and baddest tractors you'll ever see. Made by John Deere in Illinois, this thing is built for massive farms and hardcore work. It's got an engine that pushes between 710 and 830 horsepower, which is insane, but what really makes it unique is that it doesn't have wheels. Yes, no tires. Instead, it uses 4 huge rubber tracks, one on each corner. This design gives it amazing traction and makes it glide over the ground without tearing it up like normal tires would. This 4-track layout is still pretty rare in the US, with only John Deere and Case IH offering something like this. It's perfect for big-time farming tasks like plowing, planting, and tilling huge fields. The tracks help it stay stable, even on uneven ground, and reduce soil compaction, which is great for crop health. Basically, the 9RX is like a tank for your farm, but smoother and smarter. Under the hood, it has the JD18 engine, an 18-liter beast that meets the latest emission standards without needing DEF, diesel exhaust fluid, which makes it easier to maintain. This engine is strong, reliable, and ready to handle the toughest jobs. Whether you're pulling huge equipment or working long hours, this tractor doesn't slow down. The 9RX came out around 2019 and is still being sold brand new today. It's popular with farmers who need serious power but also want to protect their land. The ride is surprisingly comfortable too, thanks to the track system that absorbs bumps and gives a smoother experience than most wheeled tractors. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, meet its little brother with all the brains and half the bulk. 6. John Deere 8RX Series. The John Deere 8RX Series is like the younger brother of the massive 9RX, but don't let its smaller size fool you. It's still a beast in the field. It has a horsepower range between 370 and 410, which is perfect for big farms that don't need the ultra-high power of the 9RX. What really makes the 8RX special is that it also uses 4 independent tracks instead of wheels. This 4-track setup gives it amazing grip and makes it super stable on soft or uneven ground. Plus, it's great for protecting your soil because the tracks spread out the weight, so you don't end up compacting the earth. Another awesome thing about the 8RX is its electric IVT transmission. IVT stands for Infinitely Variable Transmission, and it basically means that the tractor runs really smooth without the jerky gear shifts you get on older models. It combines electric and hydraulic systems to give you better control and a more comfortable driving experience. So even if you're working long hours in the field, it won't beat you up. The 8RX was added to the John Deere lineup in 2023, and it's available brand new today. It's designed for row crop work just like the other 8R tractors, but it stands out because of those 4 tracks and its high-tech transmission. Farmers love it because it offers great performance without being overkill. It's also easier to maneuver than the bigger models, which makes it a great choice for medium to large farms that want power, precision, and comfort all in one machine. Okay, you've seen Green Giants. Now let's switch it up. This next beast bends in the middle like a snake. 7. Case IH Steiger Quad Track. The Case IH Steiger Quad Track is one of the most unique-looking tractors out there. It has a boxy shape and no wheels, just 4 massive rubber tracks. That's right, 4 wide tracks that look more like tank treads than anything you'd expect on a farm. This design was first introduced in the 2000s and turned a lot of heads because it was so different. But now it's become one of the top choices for massive farms that need serious power and traction. The Quad Track is an articulated tractor, which means it bends in the middle to steer, kind of like how a snake moves. This makes it super agile, even though it's huge. The newer models, like the Steiger 700, are absolute powerhouses. They run on a Cat engine and can push up to 715 horsepower normally and hit a whopping 778 horsepower at peak performance. That's more than enough to handle deep tillage, massive planters, and pretty much anything else you throw at it. Because it has 4 tracks instead of wheels, the Quad Track spreads its weight really evenly. That means it doesn't sink into soft soil as easily and causes way less soil compaction. This is super important for keeping your fields healthy and productive. It's perfect for really large operations where you need to move a lot of equipment over long distances without damaging the land. The Quad Track is still made today in a CNH factory in Iowa. It's not the cheapest tractor out there, but it fills an important role for farms that want big-time power with a softer touch on the soil. It also looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, which is a bonus. That's right, it flexes and it's fast. But the next one, it's got wheels, tracks, and a freaky cool mix of both. 8. Case IH Steiger Row Track. The Case IH Steiger Row Track is kind of like the little cousin of the Quad Track. It's also a 4-track tractor, but it's not quite as massive or intense. Instead of using 4 giant tracks like the Quad Track, the Row Track uses a mix of 2 rubber tracks and 2 transport wheels on each side. This combo makes it a bit lighter and easier to handle, while still giving you much better traction than a normal wheeled tractor. The Row Track has a horsepower range from around 380 to 405, so it's still pretty powerful. The Row Track came out in the mid-2010s and was designed to give farmers an in-between option, more grip than tires, but not as big or expensive as a full Quad Track. Its layout is kind of unique and looks a little strange at first, but it works really well on certain types of soil, especially soft or easily compacted fields. The smaller track belts help reduce pressure on the ground, which keeps your soil healthier over time. This tractor is great for farmers who want better traction and a smoother ride, but don't need all the horsepower or size of the larger Steiger models. It still has that articulated frame, so it turns easily and handles big implements without a problem. And because it's not as bulky, it's easier to store, maintain, and maneuver around tighter fields or farmyards. The Row Track is still being made today and fits perfectly in the niche market between traditional tractors and full-on track beasts. Now let's go from red and rugged to yellow and sideways. Yeah, this next tractor actually crab walks. 9. Challenger MT800 Series. The Challenger MT800 Series is one of those tractors that just looks powerful, and it totally is. Built by AGCO, This machine actually started life under the Caterpillar brand before AGCO took over and kept the Challenger name going. These tractors come with a serious amount of muscle, packing between 460 and 600 horsepower depending on the model. That's like the strength of several pickup trucks combined into one farming beast. One of the coolest things about the MT800 series is its dual track system. Instead of 4 tracks or wheels like most tractors, it uses 2 massive tracks, one on each side. These tracks are wide and super grippy, kind of like what you'd see on a bulldozer. This design helps the tractor move easily through muddy fields or soft soil without getting stuck. AGCO calls this the Mobile Tracks TM system, and it's what gives the Challenger such strong traction and stability. It also runs on AGCO's own 16.8-liter engine, which is huge and gives the tractor tons of pulling power. Farmers use these machines for big jobs like plowing, planting, and tilling massive fields. Because it's a track tractor, it spreads its weight out evenly, so it doesn't crush the soil like heavy-wheeled tractors sometimes do. These tractors are still made today in North Dakota, and they're popular with farmers who want something tough, reliable, and different from the usual John Deere or Case IH models. Insane power, right? But the next one? It moves like a crab, turns on a dime, and looks like a piece of construction equipment. 10. Brown Bear 400 Hydrostatic. The Brown Bear 400 Hydrostatic is definitely not your average tractor. This bright yellow machine is built more for industrial and utility work than for regular farming, and it's packed with features that make it super flexible. First off, it runs on a 275 horsepower engine and uses something called a hydrostatic drive. That means it doesn't have traditional gears. Instead, you control speed and direction smoothly with just a lever, kind of like a joystick. What really makes the 400 unique is its crazy steering system. It has a mode called crab steering, where the front wheels turn while the back ones stay straight. This lets the whole tractor move sideways, like a crab walking on the beach. That might sound weird, but it's super useful for tight spots or when working next to walls, fences, or ditches. The tractor can also turn in really small spaces, making it perfect for city jobs or industrial yards. The 400 isn't just for pulling stuff. It comes with multiple power takeoff (PTO) options and front and back hitches, so you can attach snow blowers, graders, winches, or even mowing tools. It's like a Lego tractor. You can build it to do almost anything. People use it for snow clearing, moving dirt, grading roads, and other heavy-duty tasks. And if that crab walk blew your mind, the Big Brother is about to take it to the next level. More power, more features, and more freaky control. 11. Brown Bear 500 Hydrostatic. The Brown Bear 500 Hydrostatic is basically the big brother of the 400, and it takes everything to the next level. It's even bigger, stronger, and more capable. This machine runs on a 9.3-liter Cat engine that pushes out 375 horsepower, giving it serious power for the toughest jobs. Like the 400, it uses a hydrostatic transmission, which means you don't deal with shifting gears. Just push or pull a lever, and you can move forward, reverse, or adjust your speed instantly. The 500 also has full-time 4-wheel drive and the same crab steer system as the 400, so it can move in super tight areas or even slide sideways when needed. That's a huge help when you're clearing snow from narrow paths or trying to maneuver next to pipelines or fences. And because of the way it's built, you get full torque right away, meaning it doesn't stall or lag when things get tough. It also has heavy-duty planetary axles that can handle rough terrain and heavy tools. This machine is made for really hard jobs, like working in construction zones, clearing massive amounts of snow, or helping with pipeline work in remote areas. You won't usually see it on a regular farm. It's more of a heavy utility vehicle than a crop-growing machine. Okay, now let's leave diesel behind and go back to raw, old-school power. This next beast doesn't float, fly, or run on fancy tech. It just dominates the dirt. 12. Versatile Delta Track Series. The Versatile Delta Track is one of those tractors that just looks like it means business. It's built by Versatile, a Canadian company known for making heavy-duty farm equipment. The Delta Track is their high-powered 4-track tractor series, and it's made to work on big farms where regular tractors just can't cut it. Instead of wheels, it has 4 rubber tracks, one on each corner, so it grips the ground like crazy and can handle muddy, uneven, or super soft soil without getting stuck or tearing things up. These tractors come with big engines, ranging from 530 to 620 horsepower, so they can pull the biggest equipment with ease. Whether you're deep ripping the soil, planting in huge fields, or doing heavy tillage, the Delta Track is up for the job. One of the best things about it is how smooth the ride is. The tracks help absorb bumps, and Versatile added a special suspension system to make it even more comfortable. You can be out working all day and not feel like you've been shaken around. Another cool thing is that this tractor is pretty simple to operate for how powerful it is. Farmers love that it doesn't have a bunch of complicated electronics that are hard to fix. It's rugged, reliable, and easy to maintain. Plus, the cab is super spacious with a comfy seat, touchscreen controls, and even Bluetooth. Basically, it's like a small office on tracks. How cool was that? But don't blink. This next one stands over 6 feet tall and walks straight through cornfields like a boss. 13. Hagie STS-20 Sprayer. The Hagie STS-20 sprayer isn't your typical farm tractor. In fact, it's not really a tractor at all. It's a giant self-propelled sprayer that looks like it came straight out of a sci-fi movie. Built by Hagie Manufacturing in Iowa, the STS-20 is made for spraying chemicals like fertilizer or pesticides across huge fields, especially places where crops are already tall, like cornfields. What makes this machine really wild is how tall it is. It has a crazy high clearance, over 6 feet, so it can drive right over fully grown crops without crushing them. That's why people call it a crop saver. And it has a unique 4-wheel steering system where the front and back wheels move in different directions. This gives it super sharp turning abilities, even though it's so big. The frame has a scissor-like look, and the whole thing rides high above the ground on massive wheels. It's powered by an engine that pushes out more than 400 horsepower, so it's got a lot of strength, even with a huge tank of spray liquid on board. You can adjust the sprayer arms to reach wide or narrow rows, and everything is controlled from a high-tech cab where the driver sits way above the field with an amazing view. Even though it's not used for plowing or planting, the STS-20 is a key part of modern farming. Big farms use it to apply chemicals fast and efficiently without damaging crops. It's still being built and sold today, and farmers love it for its speed, precision, and high-clearance design. And now for the final twist, tiny tractors built for big results. These may be small, but they pack some serious tech. 14. American 4x4 Industrial Tractors. In the world of tractors, not everything is made by the big brands like John Deere or Case IH. Some smaller American companies have been building their own unique types of 4x4 tractors that don't look or work like your average farm machine. These are built for special jobs and are packed with weird but super useful features. Companies like Bobcat, ASV, Melro, and MB have made compact and industrial tractors that combine farming power with construction-style builds. For example, ASV makes the RT Series tracked loaders, which are kind of like mini bulldozers, but with the right attachment, they can act like a tractor and work in gardens, small farms, or tree nurseries. They have rubber tracks instead of wheels, so they don't tear up the ground and can move over mud or soft dirt easily. Then there's the Artilian Forward Tractor, which is made in Michigan and built for places like tree farms or landscaping businesses. It has 4-wheel steering and all-wheel drive, which makes it super agile in tight spaces. These tractors are small but tough, and they can handle everything from mowing and digging to hauling heavy stuff. A lot of these machines use hydrostatic drives, which means no shifting gears, just smooth speed control with one lever. That's super helpful when you need to go slow and steady around trees or landscaping. They're also usually smaller and easier to store, which makes them perfect for people who don't need a giant tractor but still want a machine that can do serious work. Which one blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments.